everybody, this is Joy's Story again. I am doing my week 5 review for assistive technology. So this week we did big ideas. We talked about the remaining assistive technology categories and really some of the ones you don't really think about. So we talked about vision tools with the high contrast and the tactile displays to help people know when they're transitioning from room to room. We talked about the hearing impairment and some of the assistive tech that we can use with that. I noticed we didn't use the sign language gloves and talk about that as much, but we did do the one that's essentially text to speech with the app where you speak and it makes the text available for the person to be able to read it. We also talked about seeing and positioning, and that was one that I had forgotten about. We talked about leisure and recreation. So what tools we can do to help people have the hobbies that they once had in the same or almost same capacity as before their impairment happened. So in this week in class, I learned a lot about vision impairments. It's something I've never really put too much thought before. And when I did the simulations, that really kind of put it into perspective for me about how some people, they can only see that one part of the screen and everything else is black. Or the blurry text. I never thought that was all that bad because I wear glasses and I'm blind without them. But it's really hard to see that small, fine print when you have a bad vision impairment. So it just definitely put me into perspective how grateful I am to have glasses and how grateful that I don't need more than my glasses. And I learned about the high contrast and why that's important. I've always wondered about it, but after watching through the simulation how everything kind of blends together, but then the high contrast makes things pop so that people can at least locate an area, that was really cool. And just something I never thought to think about. So in the future, I plan to use this in my classroom with more tactile and color-coded options for cross-categorical classrooms. That way students can easily locate things, turn them on, turn them off. It also helps my students with steps, so if they remember different colors, red, blue, yellow, green, that just makes it easier for them anyway to understand where they're at in a series to complete an assignment. So just my thoughts and reflections. But the hearing one, I felt like that was easier for me to understand than the vision one because we've all been in places where it's been too loud, or some of us have already had that temporary loss of hearing from just being around loud noises and events. With the vision, I never realized how much I took for granted. When I watched that person have to do the reading and have to slide it underneath a magnifier and then have to even zoom in even closer, it just makes me wonder how the person uses Facebook and, likes posts and do all the things that they do because of how zoomed in they have to have that text. So, that is my weekly reflection. So I really enjoyed the discussion boards this week. There was a lot of tools brought up that I didn't even think of. A lot of adaptive equipment for recreation and leisure. I loved how my classmates tied in their different hobbies to go with the assistive technology that they looked up. Probably my favorite was the crochet hook and watching them make a tool so that one person could only need to use one hand if necessary in order to do the project. And that's it.